What up, martial artists? Today we're watching in this Sunday documentary reaction Chinese Bullshido and Kung Fu fakes. So, if you have been following this channel for a while now, you know that I'm doing Hunggar Kung Fu. It's like the real life version of earthbending we know from Avatar: The Last Airbender. And if I see something like this or a thumbnail like this, then I'm hooked. I want to see what is all about the Kung Fu fakes, what maybe I can do my part and clarify some things for you and make like Kung Fu great again, because I know in especially the Kung Fu community there are a lot of people who are fraudulent, who are taking care or who not taking care of other people, and I just want to give my 5 cents about it. And if you're interested, then please watch this video. Also comment down below what we should react next in the next Sunday documentary react. I'm happy to see all of your suggestions, and without further ado, let's hop into the video. Chinese Bullshido and Kung Fu fakes. Let's go.
China may be the oldest civilization that still exists in the world, a land of rolling hills and beautiful landscapes, a long rich history and excellence known for its architecture, political and cultural ideas and fantastic food. Oh yeah, and Bushido.
Yeah, that was Xu Xiadong. Interesting stuff from around the world.
Hello guys, how's it going? Today we're going to be looking at Chinese Bushido, more to the point, and the crazy story of a man on a mission to expose the crap. But
Okay, so this video is going to be about Xu Xiadong. He's one of the first, I would say, MMA practitioners who was challenging traditional martial arts masters or self-proclaimed traditional martial arts masters like Tai Chi masters, Wing Chun masters, and so on, publicly to fight. And the traditional masters, unfortunately, weren't that lucky, because they seem to be, or at least from my perspective, they seem to be not like real fighters, because more of like teachers, so to speak. And obviously they lost, because what does an MMA fighter do? He fights all the time. Traditional martial artists tend to go on the side of the teaching and just teach and not fight themselves. And if you don't fight yourself, then you can't fight. There's a good saying, you fight how you train, and if you don't fight in training, then you can't fight in fighting. Let's go.
Before we get to the story of Xu Xiadong, let's take a look at some of the fine examples of Bushido that he is trying to combat.
It's for sure some Kung Fu. It looks like some northern style to me. It's sped up, sure. Let me interrupt here quickly. So this looks to me like, or at least I've seen some different things. So this is sped up, so it would look like something like Tai Chi. So I see a lot of dynamic tension exercises or dynamic strengthening exercises like you would do, where you really focus on working against your own muscle, which is basically like a tension exercise or a strengthening exercise. This can be one side. The other side, the fighting applications, I saw something like this, free movement. Somebody grabs you at the hand, wherever that should happen, and then you basically try to free yourself. Other I saw some push, some grabs, but how do you apply this in a fight? Probably not very well in a ring, because such scenarios usually don't happen in a ring. Not in a ring. There's not enough like evidence of footage that I saw of people like pushing you like they would on the streets, because in the ring they first try to punch, because it's a combative sport environment. And as speaking from a side, I have worked in security business for quite some years now, and there you have it more, that people first try to push you because they're not directly going to attack to punch you in the face. The first is like, what the fuck, what are you doing? This is first. Maybe something like this. So you need to be clear what you are doing and where it would make sense to apply it. So this I see not working. The ring, sorry. And this also, if he's gonna fight, if Xu Xiadong is going to be losing, or he's going to be losing. So let's go into the video again. 1.5 minutes in, 5 minutes recording. That's going good.
That guy's face is insane. So I don't think this next one is Bullshido really, but well, just take a look.
It's not Bullshido because he's wearing a Shaolin uniform, right? Looks like a breaking brick movement. What the fuck? Yeah, come on, that's bullshit. I'm crotch training, maybe? Yeah, I think so. It's gonna kick him in the balls. Yes. Nothing wrong with this if you have the dedication for this, but the reason why the people are doing this is because they want to make every part of the body strong as possible. And the thinking behind this is, if you get in a fight, you want every part of your body protected. And that's why you condition it. Does it make sense to condition every part of your body? No, not really. Because something like the groin, there are no muscles, man. And I know you're gonna say, oh, my bone is hard as iron, but yeah, no, that's not gonna work like this. And also things like the skull. Man, here inside is your computer. If this here doesn't function properly, then man, you're gonna have a problem. Watch the last episode of Sunday Documentary React, where we reacted to the problems that MMA fighters have after their career, about CTE, about brain damage. Man, don't train or don't try to make your bones in the head harder. It doesn't make sense because you're actually just damaging it. Something like here on the arms, on the shins, like the thing that Muay Thai fighters do when they kick solid objects like trees or iron bars. Yes, that can make sense, but what you're doing there is actually not making the bone stronger, but you're making the skin of the bone stronger. And at some parts, like the groin, there's nothing to can make stronger. It can make sense to that you get used to the pain, but really, do you want this? I mean, if you have been hit in the nuts, god damn it, that's the worst pain that you will ever experience. And do you really want to get confident with that? I wouldn't. Really, that's not much. Or that's not worth it. Basically. By the way, those are protein chips. Yeah, the same here. Why the fuck would you do this?
属少林72仪中阴柔之劲路绝密神功，专练人之甚步的功法。
Taking farming to the next level. So this seems to be a bit of a thing in China, and yeah, I mean, it seems pretty hardcore stuff, which I don't think I could do, so fair play to them, but
Me neither.
Fuck that.
1、2、3、4、5。
Yat yi san say 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
That's
okay.
my Chinese.
1、2、3、4、5、6。
So let's start our little story, and we can stop off some other places along the way. So Xu Xiadong, otherwise known as the Mad Dog, was born in 1979 in Beijing, China. In his younger years, he trained in Sanda, which is a form of Chinese kickboxing, and he turned out to be a pretty talented fighter.
Yeah, Sanda is basically like Kungfu kickboxing. I think it's also Olympic. Not sure. But I think it's not that well spread in the West. But it's like the answer of the Chinese government of modern MMA fighting and trying to make Kung Fu great again, so to speak. But yeah, well, we see where this is going.
As time went by, Xu had more and more fights and was on the way up until he fought Andy Pai, a Chinese Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner. Xu, shown here in the blue trunks, fought hard against Pai and even broke his arm with a kick, but Pai eventually submitted Xu to win the fight. This seemed to have opened Xu's mind to the benefits of MMA, and Xu started to train in the new style. The Mad Dog became a leading light in Chinese MMA and hosted China's first MMA tournament. Now, China has a long and rich history in martial arts, with a lot of masters being treated like celebrities. These masters have a lot of big claims, like being able to kill a man with one touch, or the ability to use chi to knock out opponents without touching.
This ability to kill a man with one touch, I think, is he's speaking about the muck now, the death touch. I think that's Koshi Gishin, who made like 40 vital points. The father of modern karate, Koshi Gishin. 40 points on the body that are like vital points which you can manipulate or so. And if I'm wrong here, then please tell me. But I think that's also influenced, and then from those the Dimmak experience or idea developed, so to speak. So the idea maybe was good with acupuncture, pressure points having a valid option, because when you hook a thumb here, somebody, I mean, that's basically a pressure point. If it hurts, yes, but you cannot like punch somebody and then he automatically goes unconscious, right? That's not gonna happen. But there are pressure points and they can be used, but not as all these masters here are demonstrating like this. It's not gonna work.
Chinese culture has a big emphasis on saving face, so when the Mad Dog began to troll these masters online and say that Kung Fu was useless in the real world, outrage erupted, and many of these masters claimed that Xu Xiadong was lying. Xu called out a Tai Chi master by the name of Lei Lei, and history was made.
Yeah, for sure, okay. A lot of Kung Fu might be pretty useless if you don't train the right way. So if you don't spar, it's going to be useless for fighting. There can be other aspects where it's going to be useful for developing like stamina and muscle endurance. When you're performing forms, you're going to be more flexible. It's also kind of a strength training. You're working your cardiovascular system, yes, but is it the only way? No. Is it the best way? Probably not. But if you enjoy it, why not doing it, right? That's always the point. But challenging something like Tai Chi is pretty like, it's the easy game. But I know why he's doing this. Because somewhere you have to start. And Tai Chi, as far as I know, has been rooted from wrestling, right? I watched a video from Ramsey Dewey over on his channel. I thought it's about wrestling. And what you see nowadays is those old Chinese people in the park doing all those waterbendy movements, which look beautiful, and I'm sure they have their benefit and their merit for their aging. But have you seen somebody fight with Tai Chi? Man, come on. That's the Tai Chi master's fault that he claimed it actually is something for fighting. Sorry. And then, yeah, put it to the test, and then he obviously loses. He loses his face. Yeah, sorry.
So I'm just going to give some context before we go too deep into the story. The Chinese government had a big push on Chinese nationalism and great pride in all things Chinese. This has resulted in some weird propaganda like Chinese masters showing how they can take on a rugby team by themselves, or Kung Fu masters taking on a fencer with no sword.
That's bullshit,
this never gets called out as being dumb, because to do so would be unpatriotic, and to be unpatriotic would go against the Chinese Communist Party, and to go against the Chinese Communist Party is not a great survival strategy. Also in China, there's a thing called white monkey jobs, which are normally Westerners who are used to sell products or big up the Chinese government, or sometimes used to show how superior the Chinese are over the West. In a Chinese documentary, one of these white monkeys was used to show how powerful Tai Chi was. So the white monkey starts off by showing how strong he is against a Thai boxer. Then in steps our man Lei to show how Chinese Tai Chi destroys the white monkey. So after the white monkey has been vanquished, Lei shows off that his Tai Chi is so strong that a pigeon won't fly away, and how hitting a melon with Tai Chi damages the inside but not the outside. So this is Lei, and this is the kind of thing Xu Xiadong was trying to talk out against. So,
despite not liking that my style is criticized in this video, I'm 100% agreeing that this shit that the Master Lei is doing here should be called out, needs to be called out, and needs to be away from the martial arts community, because this is damaging what I personally think Kung Fu is about. It's not about, oh, I'm destroying like this melon here inside and it's gonna be damaging and I will explode your organs if I touch you. Oh, god damn it. I mean, if you think about it, or I like to think about it this way. So people have fought in China for a long time. So they have all over the world. And from this fighting, developed different fighting systems. So in Switzerland, for example, we have like the soldiers that are now protecting the Pope. The reason for this is because the Swiss soldiers were so good that the Pope said, I want the best soldiers available in Europe, and he got the Swiss Guard. Wow, that's it. In China, it was Kung Fu, or it was the Shaolin Temple. Nowadays, it's completely on a different level, or on a different piece of paper, what this temple is all about. It's about tourism, it's about marketing, and making the name Shaolin in the world big again, also with the Shaolin Temple in Europe, in Germany. But people have fought. People were in warfare, people had arguments with other people, people fought, and I am 100% sure that what developed out of this tradition was good. Maybe once, maybe not nowadays, but maybe somebody knows it still. And I'm sure that there is a way to make it work. Or I know it must be a way, because the people were not fighting differently. A punch is a punch. A punch was, or a jab is a jab. Now 2023, and it was 1969, whatever, and was 1812. It was the same punch, the same kick. So who invented the punch? Can you really define that? I don't think so. So I think it's more about when we see kickboxing. I will link you my playlist about how I spar with my instructor, how I fight, and it's well going to be looking like kickboxing if you don't see it when you don't do Kung Fu. But especially what my instructor is doing, you will see, if you're a little bit familiar with the Kung Fu movement, you will see them. You will see them. And this is, I mean, why is it not maybe our faults that we have false claims because of all the martial arts movies we see? Oh, okay, Kung Fu fighting needs to look like in the movie. And if it doesn't look like this, then it's probably kickboxing. Okay? Do you see where I want to go with this? Because if you don't do Kung Fu or are not familiar with the movements, it will, on the surface, look like, yeah, kind of a shitty kickboxing. But is it? I don't think so, because for this to be judged, you would need to have fighted or fought with somebody who does this. And then you will see how the things work out and how the things don't work. And this is what I want my channel to be, this is what I want my community to be. People from all different martial arts, learning from each other, seeing other things, maybe learn from this style, from that style, because I'm deeply a believer of that you can learn something from every style. Maybe from some styles more, maybe from some styles less, that's for sure. But everybody can teach you something. But we need to go into the discussion or into the observation without precautions. Okay? I hope that makes sense. And now let's go further into the video. It was a little bit long, my talking.
Back to the story. Lei was not happy about being called out, and a fight was arranged so that Lei could show off his magical powers by beating this young upstart. This was a fight between the old and the new. Thousands of years of tradition versus a young punk. The Western ideas versus the Eastern ideas. Who would win?
Yeah, I'm sure you have seen this. Bam, 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 it's over. Don't stand like this, makes no sense. Yeah. I'm aggression overwhelmed.
The Mad Dog. Of course the Mad Dog won, and in less than 20 seconds. The fight went viral around China and a star was born. MMA was clearly better than Tai Chi, and the supernatural claims of Lei were proven to be non-existent. All of this in less than 20 seconds. A few punches was all it took to disprove thousands of years of cultural beliefs, and China was not happy about this. $1 million reward was put up to any Tai Chi master.
What happened, or what the Chinese government did after this, about the Xu Xiadong problem, that's ridiculous, man. They really punished the man for calling out frauds. I think maybe if you want, we can watch. There's a documentary about him. Maybe that would be interesting to also watch, because I think can also have some benefit out of it.
So that could beat Xu, and death threats were bombarded upon Xu and his family. Xu was harassed and intimidated in real life, and the story was so large in China that the Chinese Communist Party ordered Xu to remove his internet posts and had some of the social media accounts shut down. Xu was also wiped from the history of the school that he first learned martial arts, and the school and the students were forbidden.
Imagine the government is taking your personal social media account. What the actual fuck?
Forbidden from speaking his name.
我现在我打假，你中国武协出来了，告诉什刹海，把我的名字除掉，没关系。那么我的微博，大家看看，他们说徐晓东，你把你微博只要有什刹海的名字，你都给我删了。你不许有什刹海的名字出现，因为你打击传统武术。我20年待的地方，说没就没了。我在我自己的微博上，我写我很光荣，我是什刹海的教练，也不让我打了，都他妈让我删了，因为中国武协说了。不能让我有名，我现在全世界有名，是我徐晓东打出来的。
Xu was understandably pissed off about this, but whereas most people would probably back down at this point, Xu was not most people. He made new social media accounts and continued to call out the fake masters. The story is far from over, but let's take a little break from our Far Eastern tale and enjoy some groovy chi powers.
Oh yeah, this one. That's one of the more popular ones.
phát súng năng cần rồi tập mạnh nha.
Boring.
Phát lại.
Yeah, well, okay, I also can do this. If they're standing like
well, that
steady.
all seems believable, I guess.
Oh man.
So let's take a look at the fight between Xu Xiadong and a Tai Chi master called Chen Yong. I don't speak Mandarin, so I'm very sorry if I mispronounce any of this. As the great Mike Tyson once said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And this man has clearly never been punched in the mouth before.
I've been yesterday. Yesterday evening in my fight training.
In steps a new antagonist. This man.
I'm gonna film the reaction to the sparring video later, because I want to show you this. This is actually funny because the wife of our Sigong, or I don't know, somebody told, if you don't move your hips, you're gonna die lonely. If you don't move your hips, you're gonna die lonely. And she told, and what she meant was, if you can't dance, then you can't get a woman. But it's actually also true for martial arts if you think about it. Because where does the power come from? The power comes from the hips, from the body, from body support. And if you don't rotate your hips when you punch, then you're not going to have that much of power. And if you don't rotate your hips or you don't move your hips, you'll die lonely. That's a saying that stuck to my head. Man, really good one. Yeah, this is I don't know what. That's not what I mean.
打了5遍，1遍、2遍、3遍、4遍。
What is he even doing? What's happening? Honestly, I could just watch this all day long. Just have this as the whole video. Just this guy doing this weird little spasmatic dance.
Yeah, sorry about that. That's not even a form.
So this man, whose name I'm not even going to try to pronounce, got his fame in China after a video of him fighting. An MMA fighter went viral in China. Of course, the fight was fake, with the MMA fighter being told that it was just a friendly demonstration, but back in China it was sold as a real fight after the fact, with the Tai Chi master telling the Chinese public that he had defeated the UK's MMA champion. So, this guy and Xu Xiadong arranged the fight. Who do you think is going to win this fight? Well, we'll never know, as the police turned up and led Xu away. No one knows really why the police shut the fight down. Some claim that it was the nephew of the Tai Chi master who called the police, and some say it was the Chinese government. Whatever the reason, the fight was stopped. On a side note, this man did fight an MMA fighter after this. Let's see how that went.
Never been hit. Never. You can't just teach.
Yeah, didn't go too great. So after Xu was led away by the police, the Chinese government banned Xu from holding any fights in his gym. Although it was clear that the government didn't want Xu to continue fighting the Bullshido masters, Xu, being a mad dog, went ahead with another fight anyway and set a date with a Wing Chun master called Ding Hao. This is how that fight went.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's one with good quality. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, Xu Xiadong is wearing gloves and the other guy not. And Xu Xiadong, first of all, has really much of confidence that he's not gonna, because man, knuckles, bare knuckle, shit. But he is not even using it to his advantage. What the fuck? You see that the Wing Chun master is not used to hit somebody else. And that's something natural, because we don't want, in the first place, we don't want to hit other humans, because we tend to, or we are designed to live in groups, to get along with each other, because that, from an evolutionary perspective, that is what brings us safety, being in groups, because being alone in the old days was dangerous. So you need to learn this. I'm sure you're not born, or nobody's born evil or harmful, but in a situation where you are fighting, or where you are a fighter, you need to learn this, and I also need to learn this, but I'm aware of it. I know I can't learn this. It takes time and it takes training, and if you don't put that training in, you're not gonna learn this, and then you are somebody like him. That's flinch. Don't get your head down.
As you can see, the fight was clearly a draw. No, I'm not joking.
Yeah.
The fight was ruled a draw. I think Xi's face just says it all, really. The judge did do an interview after the fight. Let's see how he justifies his outrageous decision.
Okay. Interesting.
我不是从专业角度上看，
I didn't just look at it from a professional angle. I looked at
我
many
可能是
layers.
从很多项目、很多层面上看，我认为就是平局。
哪些层面？
It felt
站
like
在
a
擂台
draw.
上，然后
Having the
敢于
courage
去
to
打
go into the ring.
我本身就是我觉得就是这样，然后也
Yeah.
没有像
And he didn't get
雷雷
beat
那样
as badly
被
as
打的
Lele.
这个
That's silly, man. So far, okay.
这个
Give it some,
是
give
吧
it some？time.
当然了，可能有地面的原因。
Yes,
但是
I
我觉
probably
得
slipped. Either way, I felt
应该
like a
算是平
draw.
局。
但是看完那场比赛的
But everyone watching
观众
live
包
on
括
felt
我们
that
在
Xu
网上
Xiadong
看
won
的
without a
都
doubt.
认为，其实徐晓东没有悬念的是获得了那场比赛的胜利，因为差不多把那个丁浩
Ding
打
Hao
倒
got
了
knocked
5-6
down
次
like
嘛。
5-6
在
times.
这
So
种
it
情
seemed
况
like he
下
was not an
看
error.
这场比赛平局，您不觉得你这个判罚有问题？
我不管所有人可以骂我呀，
People can get mad
你
at
们
me
觉
and
得
think
我
I'm
判的不
wrong.
对，都可以骂
Yeah,
我
I
随
think so
便。
too.
我作为赛事方，然后
I'm
我
the
又
host,
作为
I
现
can
场的
take
主
it.
持，我觉得，骂我是承受的。但是作为中国
I
传
think
武来
Xu
说，
Xiadong's Kungfu
最起码
took
在我们这个
first
平
step
台上做出了第一步。
从你自
in
己
this
因素
ring.
角度来讲，如果除掉
But
那
if
些
I
因
take
素，就
away
你
the
说的那
context
些
behind the
非
match,
比
what
赛
do
的
you
因素，你
think
觉得徐晓
won
东
between
跟
Xu
丁浩
Xiadong?
之间的比赛谁赢了？
谁赢谁输，我不是专业的，我也
You're not an expert, but you judged the fight?
不好去做评判。我觉得
So after this,
The fuck? That was no clarification. It was just a draw because the Wing Chun man stepped into the ring A and wasn't beaten up so badly like the last one. What the fuck?
decision, the Mad Dog set his sights on another Tai Chi master. The two trash talked each other over the internet, with Xi offering to set up a fight, but the Tai Chi master never accepted his invitation. So Mad Dog, being a Mad Dog, went to his house to set up the fight.
Yeah, for
Tai
sure.
Chi
Smoking
master
as
made
well.
excuse after excuse why he couldn't fight Xu, but after a while the fight was arranged and a date was set. Then the date was cancelled and the fight never happened. So Xu moved on to a new target, and a new date was set with a new master. This time it was to be held in a ring with gloves, and a Chinese millionaire offered $1.5 million to the master if he could beat Xu Xiadong. With $1.5 million on the line, you know the master's going to try his hardest. So the fight started, and in the first round this happened. A large cut opened up over the master's eye, and
elbow.
his corner thought that this was the best way to deal with it. What is happening? Can he even see?
No, not really.
It was clear that the odds were set against Xu, with the fight being stopped for so long so that the corner could turn the master into a living mummy, and the ref stopping the fight anytime Xu looked like he was going to do any kind of damage to the master. Xu knew that if it went the distance it would be called a draw again, so he did this. The Mad Dog had another win under his belt, but his joy was cut short when the Chinese government and court system ordered him to pay a $60,000 fine and to apologise for 7 days in a row to a Tai Chi master that he had offended online. The Tai Chi master that he offended is pretty well known in China for being able to stand his ground for a minute against a Chinese strongman, and has been teaching the powerful and real-world fighting applications of Tai Chi for many years. On a side note, this is his student by the name of
黄忠达
This powerful Chi master is able to use his Chi to drop people without even touching them. I wonder why he is
It
not
makes me
defending his
cringe
master by
so
beating
hard.
up Xu Xiadong. Seems like it would be a pretty easy task.
Because I know
for
it
such a
can be
powerful
different, and I
human
see
being.
in
Anyway, as if it
my
wasn't bad
training
enough
with
that
my
Xu had to
instructors
pay
and
a
my fellow
fine
Kung
and
Fu brothers and
apologise,
sisters, it
and
is
this
different.
resulted in Xu's social credit score being lowered. So if you're unsure what a social credit score is, here is a quick overview. In China, each citizen is given a
that's
score
also
based on
something-
if they are doing things that the government likes or if they are
God damn
doing
it.
things that the government doesn't like. So the Mad Dog, being a bad boy, now had a low social credit score, and he was banned from owning property, renting property, staying in hotels, going into some shops, any form of government aid or entering government facilities, and banned from using high-speed trains and aeroplanes. He was also
can't
scrubbed
travel
from
to
the
the
Chinese
fights.
internet and media once again. So now surely this was the end of the Mad Dog. Surely now he would comply and stop disrespecting the Chinese
As
culture.
far as I know, he didn't.
No.
Yeah.
No. Xu set up another fight with
Wing
another
Chun.
Wing Chun master called Liu Gang. But to avoid any more trouble, Xu changed his name and painted his face with a foolproof disguise so that no one would recognize him. Great job. So the day of the fight came, and Xu couldn't travel on high-speed trains or planes, and China is a big place, so how would he reach the fight? Well, he had to sit on small, cramped little trains for 36 hours to reach the fight, and remember that he can't stay in hotels, so he had to travel for 36 hours with no sleep, then get into the ring, and he still beat the living daylights out of Liu Gang.
万人瞩目的狂人动画从电视李刚比赛开始了，完了，到底有不能击打，到底不能击打。看，因为这次比赛里面，狂人动画真正的发挥起了他的全的力量跟优势，不给典狱师、不给咏春李刚任何的还手的机会和时间。 我就打近战，我用我的力量砰我乱炸，这样使得吕刚他不可能发挥出他的两翼的点穴的技法，他没有机会，根本没有时间。
Interesting that a Westerner is a master in China.
我们看到比赛结束，为了保护吕刚，比赛结束了。回去。
Xu Xiadong completed his 7 days of apologies, and his social credit score was set back to normal, and everything seemed to be going great. This man, a master of the Iron Palm, challenged Xu, but after the Mad Dog tried to arrange a date for the fight, the Iron Palm master backed down and publicly apologized to the Mad Dog. Life was going great and things seemed to be on the up. But then Xu decided to criticize the Chinese government over the Hong Kong riots, and he was scrubbed from the internet yet again. And this is kind of where the story ends. I've been unable to find any more fights from Xu Xiadong. I have been unable to find any more details on what he's up to.
Right?
If anyone watching knows any more details, please let me know in the comments. I'd be interested to know. He does have a YouTube channel and he posts regularly, so we know that he's still alive. But it's in Mandarin, so I have no idea what's being said, to be honest. I have linked his channel in the description.
Oh yeah.
Let's check
him out.
Xu Xiadong is not the only person fighting against these fake masters in China. Here is another example. This is what the master says that you can do outside of.
To hear the live story of Xu Xiadong, pretty charisma. Hope enjoy this documentary, his channel. Okay, let's see. This is him, Xu Xiadong. Let's sub in. Hope we see some 4 weeks, 10 days. So he's posting fairly regular. We'll check this out later. Bookmarked it. Okay, so that's been it with the video. I think, yeah, final thoughts. Big masters like this need to be called out. They really need to be called out. Because they're like a bad representation of what Kung Fu can be. And I know it can be different because I'm experiencing it. I'm also trying to show it here on the channel. And I won't go into this direction where, oh, we see this movement here. Or, you know, all this like psychological warfare bullshit or chi master bullshit. I think there is a reason for chi. I think, or I myself like to see chi as breathing. This is like the manifestation in our world, so to speak. This is chi, the breathing. It makes sense to exercise on breathing like we see Wim Hof do. If you've heard of the Wim Hof method, people can do really amazing stuff with breathing. But as far as like all this, it's almost an extraterrestrial stuff. Like, come on. So, if you like this video, if you stayed until here, then also make sure that you check out the video description. I've linked you some stuff. You have all my merch here, all the gains for the fitness people, and we have also martial arts shirts in the store, and also I have a trainings program for you that is currently a little bit off, that you save some money, and that will make you get strong, that you also can win fights with like Xu Xiadong did, because martial arts is not all about technique, it's also about getting stronger, and where you get stronger if you lift heavy things from A to B. With this word said, let's see you in the next one. Go out there and train.